What's up, guys? It's me, Danny, and today I'm going to do Miley Cyrus's chart. It's been highly requested, and I love doing celebrity charts because it's just fun to see how all this, craziness happened. So, all right, if you're curious to see more, just stay tuned, and we'll just jump right into it. So, her personal archetype is Venus in Capricorn. So we see Taurus rising, that leads us to Venus. Venus owns Taurus, and Venus is in Capricorn. Now, right off the bat, you might think, okay, Venus in Capricorn, that by itself with Taurus rising, it's a very sort of like conservative, private sort of person. It's in the eighth house. Well, it's sort of, we'll call it on the ninth house cusp, with the house of spirituality. So this could easily, by itself, this, wouldn't really paint the picture of this person. Maybe at her heart she does, at her core, maybe she is, more not as wild as she seems, but this paints a personal archetype of someone who just thinks of themselves as a very kind of even-keeled person. Thinks of themselves as a spiritual person, has a luxurious side to them, but is also very pragmatic with that Capricorn side, just really only wanting the things that you need, that kind of thing. So then when we start to paint a picture of some other stuff here, then take this as crazy. So, if you've heard me talk about this before, the outer planets are not included in Hellenistic astrology. However, as sort of modern day Hellenistic astrologers, we include the outer planets as generational influencers for those who are generational influencers, which pretty much include any public figures. So we have Uranus right here, and Uranus is this very erratic, intense quality. It's right conjoined there in Venus, and Neptune, which has this quality being like a fog, a vague, confusing fog that allows, that is just really easily projected upon. So, when you see people like, Marilyn Monroe is sort of the textbook example. She had Neptune conjoined her ascendant, and so, she had this mysterious, vague, foggy air about her that just, people could project kind of anything they wanted onto her. And it didn't necessarily impact her so much as people's perception of her, since it was on her ascendant. This has actually conjoined her personal planet, her archetype, Venus in Capricorn, the ruler of the first house. So this creates a person who, maybe she's figuring it out more now, but this is someone who really doesn't know fully who they are, someone who has very erratic ideas, is very bold and a little bit malicious. So, this is, as this starts to paint a picture of who we see her as, which is sort of a force to be reckoned with. This is a very intense person who has a lot of erratic energy and a lot of vague, a really broad sense of sort of an infinite, I don't know if there's so much going on inside of me, I don't know who I am, I'm everything. So one of those really, really intense, there's a lot of intense energies going on within her. And then, of course, we start to look at the rest of the picture here. Capricorn's owned by Saturn, and we see Saturn here in Aquarius. It's one of its own signs. It's very strong in this sign. It's sitting right on the midheaven, the 10th house cups, very strong. It's the ruler of her career. It also represents her father figure, and as we know, her father has been a really important part of her life. There's generally speaking, a pretty positive relationship here with the father. Very obviously tied into her career. I just love this. The only downside here is the 10th house. When you have Saturn in the 10th house, it can create a lot of obstacles in career. So, it's possible, I don't really know that much about her career, but it does seem like she's reinventing herself all the time. And also, she does have a lot of naysayers. She gets a lot of flack for her boldness and for pushing boundaries. So, I think she's going to continue to have obstacles in her professional life, although her dad will continue to help her with him. He's very strong in the chart. And overall, she has such a strong career placement that it's always going to probably end up pretty well for her. Now, then we look at the 7th house. That is the house of your audience, and it's also the house of partnership. We have the sun here in Sag. It's in its joy. It's a very strong placement. I really like this. You know, obviously she has a very bold, energetic fan base. You have to be, you know, successful. So it's a really great positioning. It puts a lot of force and energy against her first house, which sort of pulls the energy out and really toward the audience. So it's kind of person who, like, she really does need to connect with an audience to express herself. So it's a great position for someone like her. And then we always want to see the Mercury, because that really connects with the voice and how this person sounds. You know, Taurus is a mute sign. And, you know, usually you want to see more air. You know, air signs in the chart really kind of help with that vocal quality. You do see Libra here and Aquarius. Gemini is nice to see for that. But it's actually in Scorpio. Scorpio, so is a lot of intensity and emotion. That's the ruggedness in her voice. It's conjoined the moon, which also even more emotion coming out. The moon in Scorpio is in its fall. It's weak. There's a lack of self-esteem here, so that's going to be put into the music. And then we have Pluto here. It's, again, a really intense, malicious planet. It's going to add more intensity into those emotions. It's going to be coming out through the voice in really intense ways. Her Mercury is retrograde, further weakening that, so she's probably not the best communicator in her day-to-day, and you know, it's probably why music, again, is a better place for her to express herself. So, just a quick overview of her chart. Let me know what other celebrities you like to do. I put them in kind of a little bit of a bowl and pick one out, and obviously if I'm more interested, I definitely do with celebrities I'm more interested in. So it's a cool chart. Thanks for asking me to do it. This is, again, you know, where the outer planets really have a big play in the chart, and then there's a strong 7th house with this sun right here. So also attracting a partner who's, you know, charismatic, bold, and you know, likes to be in the limelight, and who's also sweet and tender. So that's kind of relationship. So anyway, that's a quick overview. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, you know, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and let me know what else you want to see. Okay, bye.